I'm Wendy Lai. Good afternoon. This is Midday Live. The headlines for this afternoon. MP for Bimbela and newly appointed Deputy Minority Leader for the 6th Parliament, Dominic Nitiwu, says his appointments are as a sign that the MPP believes in the capacity of the youth. And in some foreign news this afternoon, Central African Republic President Francois Bozize fires his son as Defense Minister and fired the Army Chief of Staff after a string of victories by rebel forces. I've got the details in a jiffy. Don't go away. We start with our stories, and the former President John Agyekum Kufuor will be attending the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama at the Independence Square on Monday, January 7, following an invitation he had received from the state. A statement signed by his spokesperson, Frank Agyekum, said the former president will be at the ceremony in his capacity as a former president of the Republic of Ghana. The statement said former President Kufuor's unique position was explained to and acknowledged by the Joint National Council and National Executive Committee meeting of the New Patriotic Party in Accra on January 2. The statement said his presence at the inauguration will be without prejudice to his party. The New Patriotic Party stands to boycott the ceremony, nor of his full support of the party's petition at the Supreme Court's declaring oration of the December 2012 elections as announced by the Electoral Commission. The NPP's National Executive Committee and the National Council yesterday announced it will boycott the inauguration ceremony for President Mahama because attending it will be in conflict with its petition before the Supreme Court challenging the validity of the results of the presidential elections. Some more stories. Parliament says it is ready to receive President John Mahama's State of the Nation address on Friday, January 4. Parliament's Director of Public Relations, John Skublenu, says all arrangements have been made to accord the President the needed courtesy.
President John Mahama gives his first State of the Nation address on Friday, January 4, 2013. Preparations for his appearance before the House are underway. Spick and span remains high on the agenda for cleaners. The National Theatre was busy fulfilling the national duty of draping the House in national colors. The military, police, state protocol, and national security have their jobs cut out. Over 300 guests are expected to listen to the State of the Nation address. John Skublenu is head of public relations at the Parliament.
His Excellency, the President, is not new to the House. He's been a member of Parliament before. He served on international bodies and all that. So, as Parliament, we have to prepare the ground to receive him because he is going to talk to the totality of the Ghanaian populace. And the best place to do it is in Parliament, where you have the representatives of the people.
Our residents of Bobikope in the Ghan West municipality are expecting the State of the Nation address to be focused on bridging the rural-urban poverty gap. But how much do rural dwellers know about the State of the Nation address? Kobna Kluche has this report.
Bobikope is a farming community in the Ghan West municipality.
President John Dramani Mahama will give the State of the Nation address after assuming office for the unexpired term of late President John Evans Atta Mills. So much is expected of him as a president because the nation has just come out of a general elections which is being contested anyway. We pitched camp here at Bobikope, a village near Amasaman, to gauge the mood and expectations of Ghanaians ahead of his address on Friday.
Two families, the Zomelos and the Hunyas, have been monitoring the political climate, but the State of the Nation address confuses them.
What do you understand when we say State of the Nation address?
State of the Nation, like your nation, what the people or the team you know, say your this thing, your town. Now, right now here, no toilet for that village. You don't have toilet, you don't have this thing, market, or fancy rank.
Kuna mashame alo donato. Adoha madua ubana kuda ni jonchi anyaba aba kodanya duma adukbola chechia ika ado vivira ngwaru ado tonwa mate ya jina namu.
Despite the confusion, the president will still fulfill that mandate. So what are their expectations?
Yeah, more money when get on a jolly do quame. Me here Buchi plus school now. Young of your secondary school million. Velia Koji now in who food and Miller do come.
Ni Jimala Kunyaba a drop on Ngogba the Dali Cocholemi Abadu Maziona Ocholemi Ika Mioha Miatea ano da die ika donatea dango donapungo badada ikunya nyanya
mami chifafa na no du ko mena mi ko jimila chifafa la unsha anu topa pepe anwo si khoma pa nguna bobo na mi vi.
As the president addresses the nation, one thing stays up on their minds: development now, not later. Komla Kluche, TV3.
You're still watching Midday Live, but we quickly go over to the Castle Osu, where the president is beating the senior national team, the Black Stars, over there ahead of the African Cup of Nations. Straight to the Castle Osu.
Thank you very much. As you've been told, this is a twofold event, and so my speech will be in two parts. The first part will deal with the Black Stars and football, and the second part will deal with Protect the Goal project. And so, on behalf of the government, I wish to thank all of you who have assembled here for this important event. I want to begin by thanking the Black Stars for what they've been doing for Ghana. The Black Stars is the one instrument and symbol that rallies the whole country together. We hardly can agree on anything but the Black Stars. On the Black Stars, everybody agrees. But everything else, on everything else, there are 24 million opinions. But even when it comes to the Black Stars, there are 24 million coaches who believe that some players should have been fielded and another not fielded, or the coach shouldn't have made the change at this time, or he should have brought this person in. But at least on the Black Stars and the Black Stars victory, we are all agreed that that's the objective that Ghanaians want. So I want to thank them for always responding to the call of the nation. The best duty you can do to mankind is to respond to your nation's call. And I want to thank them for their sense of patriotism in leaving better paying, occupations that they have in terms of football. But I mean their clubs, certainly pay them far more than we have the opportunity to pay them here. I mean with the foreign-based players especially. And yet, anytime we make the call up, they assemble and they go and die, for their nation. And so, let me express the appreciation of Ghana to you. We believe as a government that sports is worth investing in because we, one, have to promote the talent of our young people, and two, it has become an important job creation avenue where talent abounds. You are able to provide, employment to young people who are able to use that talent to be able to win glory for their nations and also earn an income for themselves. It also is now, let me say, an export. If you breed those talents, you can export them to other countries. They play, and when they make money, they repatriate the money back into their countries and invest in their countries. And so that is also a good avenue for increasing our foreign exchange earnings. And so those are all considerations that means that government has to invest in sports. talents don't occur by accident. They occur because you nurture them and you identify them and you direct them where they should go. And so in the next 4 years, we're going to, together with the Football Association and the various sports associations, invest heavily in sports, especially at the secondary and basic education level, so that while the children are going through school, they can combine their academic talent and their sports talent. And for those who, their sporting talent can take them far, we pick them, identify them early, nurture them, and create international stars out of them. And so we're going to work together with the FA and all the other sporting associations to be able to do that. Now we're going to the African Cup of Nations. That is one cup that has eluded us for such a long time. Ghana used to dominate the African scene because we took an early lead in terms of developing the game of football in Ghana. Since then, the other nations have caught up, and now there are no minnows in soccer. Even countries that are not so well known, I mean, when you meet them, they rise to the occasion, and because they are playing for their nations too, they give you a very tough time, So we shouldn't take anybody for granted. Every nation we meet, we must play at our best in order that we are able to continue. We have come close to lifting the cup on several occasions. I think the closest was when we played a penalty shootout with Cote d'Ivoire, that eventually Cote d'Ivoire won and took the cup away from us. But it is our hope that our time is coming. We had hoped that in Gabon we'll be able to lift the cup. Unfortunately, the Zambians crossed our path, and everybody knows why Zambia won. God had just designed it that Zambia should win that cup because of the accident that had occurred where they lost their team in Gabon, where the matches were being played. And so when we met Zambia, I'm sure God was together with their goalkeeper in the post, and so we lost the penalty. And it wasn't only us, Cote d'Ivoire too bet them and lost the penalty. God must have been doing some tricks in their goalposts. But this time in South Africa, we know that the playing field is level. God doesn't owe anybody anymore. And I know he's come back to his favorite side, which is the Black Stars. So I'm sure that with God on our side, we will win the cup and bring it back. And I wish to assure the Stars that if that happens, this nation will show its appreciation to them in a special way. And so I want them to feel encouraged, go, do your best, die for your nation, and I'm sure that God will reward us with the cup. I want to thank the GFA and to say how happy I am that we've had stability in football administration for quite a while, and the results are showing. In the past, that had been a very turbulent area, and administrations, came and went, and often it led to a lot of confusion in our football. Happily, the stability, is yielding fruits, and I want to thank the GFA and all the management teams for the good work they're doing, and urge you to continue to do that good work. Most of all, I want to thank our sponsors, and there are many of them, but those I remember. Goldfields had sponsored us for a long time, and I want to thank Goldfields Ghana for the sponsorship that they have made towards the Black Stars. Glow has also been a major sponsor. I want to thank them. Guinness, I remember, has also been a major sponsor of the Black Stars. I want to take this opportunity to thank them. But also to thank the newest kid on the block as a sponsor, and that is our Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC. I want to thank them for coming onto the sponsorship block with a very, significant package, to last over a 5-year period. And so we want to say thank you to them. It will help greatly in lifting the quality of our game in Ghana. And I'm sure that within that 5-year period, we'll all see the results. But to also say the government of Ghana will continue to be the main, financier of the Black Stars. It is a burden we have to carry, and we'll carry it without any complaints. We have often been accused of being over pampering and over excited. No, I mean over inclined towards the football profession, and that the lesser known sports have been left out. But of course, that's because football is the passion of the people of Ghana. But I would say that we would also ensure that we do not leave out the lesser known sports, because often when you go to the Olympic Games, a gold medal in karate, one taekwondo fighter, a gold medal he wins is equivalent to a gold medal that a whole team wins after several matches, and tournaments. And so we will look at the lesser known sports too and try to bring them up so that Ghana can become identified as a major sporting nation. And so on the second part of what I want to say, I think that our UN partners and USAID and the international community, including our Ghana AIDS Commission, could not have found a more illustrative, way of putting across this message. As the UN representative said, protect your goal. As the game progresses, the goalkeeper and the defenders all try to make sure that no ball goes into the goalpost. It is the same way as we all are individuals and are pure and sanctified. We have to try and make sure that we are healthy and that no viruses enter our bodies. And so the same way the goalkeeper protects the goal is the same way we must protect our bodies and ensure that we don't get infected by viruses of any kind, especially of the kind of HIV and AIDS. So I think that it was a good illustration. Aside from that, she even added the direct free kicks and how players protect their valuable equipment. I think that is, you can't be more illustrative than that. So all of us are going to join to protect ourselves. I know the Ghana AIDS Commission has launched a 5-year strategic plan, a new 5-year strategic plan, whose aim is to cut down new infections by 50%, and also to virtually eliminate mother-to-child transmission and increase availability and accessibility to antiretrovirals. I think that is a very good strategic plan. The main problem is financing this plan. As we have succeeded in bringing down prevalence rates of HIV/AIDS globally all over the world, the rate of infection has gone down. Success has become our own enemy, because then governments and others feel that, well, now that the AIDS pandemic is going down, we can divert resources to other things. But this is especially the time when we should even be throwing more resources at it to make sure that we're able to eradicate it completely. And so Ghana would continue to remain committed to financing our AIDS program, and already we have committed more than 100 million Ghana cedis to this new 5-year strategic plan. But I'll urge the international community to not get tired of global financing of activities like anti-HIV and AIDS, projects, and that we should continue to make funds available through the Global Fund so that all countries can benefit. So I want to thank you for this brilliant idea, and I want to pledge on behalf of our stars that will be ambassadors of Protect the Goal project, and they're going to demonstrate it in South Africa by protecting our own goal, the Black Stars goal, and it is my wish that no ball will enter that goal, and I want to thank you very much. But let me take the opportunity in my final word to express my condolences to the skipper of the Black Star who lost his mother, a short while ago. It happened at the peak of the electoral campaign, and so some of us who would have wished to pay our condolences to him in a much better way were not able to do so because we were deeply involved in the campaign. So let me take this opportunity to express the condolences of myself and the government and people of Ghana to him for the loss of his mother. We ask you to keep the faith, don't let it weigh you down. Bang in the goals for your mother in her honor. Every goal you score will be dedicated to her memory. And so thank you very much, and God bless you all.
So we just brought you some live visuals from the castle also, where the president is meeting or still has a meeting with the senior national team, the Black Stars, ahead of the African Cup of Nations. And some of the statements he did make is that government believes in sports and will invest in it. And he also mentioned that with stakeholder support and the sports fraternity, they will invest in the sports. He says attention will also be given to lesser known sports too. And he added that Ghana will remain committed to the financing of the 5-year AIDS program in the country. So that was from the castle also. But we move on to our stories, and the MP for Bimbilla and the newly appointed deputy minority leader for the state parliament says his appointment is a sign that the NPP believes in the capacity of the youth. He spoke to Kenneth Osei-Ampofo during News at 10. We bring you excerpts.
Party also believes that it's time for the young people of this nation to be given an opportunity to serve in whichever capacity the party so feels. So it's a privilege, first of all, to the people of the North, the young people of this country, and of course to myself as a person. So that's the way I feel personally. But I'm elated, but I believe it is a very huge responsibility that the party is placed on my shoulders, and I'll do everything possible to ensure that I do not disappoint those who took that decision. It's a brave decision by the party, and I think that that decision will pay off when the time is due.
You've been in Parliament for a while. Now you've been given an elevation. What do you bring on board when it comes to this new position?
I bring on board one thing that the party seeks to achieve. It's to send a very clear message to the young people of this nation that they have a place in the hearts of this party as long as you perform and as long as you are able to get dedicated service to the party and show the party that when you are given the responsibility, you can handle it. What is important in this nation is to ensure that we'll position the next leaders of this nation, we'll position the youth of this nation to take over. And you cannot get anything better than learning through the roots, especially like a place like Parliament, where you have the opportunity to learn over and over again and then serve in responsible positions. So for me, the fact that I'll be there to be able to say things that will benefit the young people of this nation, to be able to bring in the feeling and aspirations of the young people to bear on what happens in Parliament, whether it's lawmaking or whether there are decisions or whether there are petitions or whatever that the Parliament, the 6th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana will be taking. I believe that it will change the course of history of this nation. I also think that as an MP, it is important, where especially I come from the northern side of this nation, that we are able to send this message across to that side of the nation, that the party as a whole has them at heart, and that their problems will be catered off best under this system. So, being a member of Parliament, being a deputy minority leader, I am sure that with the others on board, we shall be able to galvanize and solve the basic problems of this nation.
We go back to the president, and early on, the president did join the security services in a route march here in Accra.
In spite of all these tribulations we went through, God answered our fervent prayers as a nation, and we went through a free, fair, and successful election, which was internationally acclaimed as being one of the best. As President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, it is my greatest pleasure to wish all the security services and their families a warm, peaceful, goodwill greeting from a grateful nation. In line with tradition, let us use this New Year season as a period of sober reflection, renewal, and stock-taking. When we do this sincerely as a nation, as individuals, groups, and institutions, we would be able to correct any shortfalls and redouble our efforts to achieve and maintain national cohesion and excellence. Let me take the opportunity to rising up to the challenges which would confront us in this new year. I wish to state in particular, and without any sense of doubt, that the support of the security services to the just ended general election was well planned, well executed throughout the country. And I appreciate the beauty of the interagency cooperation and interoperability with graduated and reasonable use of force in internal security situations which came up during this critical period.
You're still watching Midday Live. Poster and editor of the Daily Dispatch, Ben Efson, says the ability of the average voter to take politicians to task has reduced the number of honeymoon years of politicians. He told colleague Roland Walker, MPs must also learn to take on their government if they feel government is not doing something right. We're bringing you excerpts in an interview conducted during 7 GMT.
What should be the expectations, particularly looking at the fact that the same personality will be sworn in as president?
I think that the ability of the average voter to take politicians to task has reduced the number of honeymoon years politicians have. Normally, the first year is regarded as honeymoon for them to make up plans and so on.
That's changed?
That has changed, because if you see, the elections are shrinking. Through the media, people have become more politically aware. So you give, State of the Nation address, it's not like a budget, but it gives pointers to how you want to go to the main thematic areas and how you do it. And people hold you to task. You know, if you realize most, like 2004, including 2008, and even 2012, if you wait till last minute and you go and put sand on roads and so on, don't mind you, they'll teach you their thumb. So the State of the Nation address is becoming, presidents who be given this need to bear in mind that they're taking office not only more honeymoon, but straight people expect action.
Going by that very fact that you have enumerated, do you think in any way perhaps then the politicians will just think that, well, I'm the president, I have my party in power, I just outlined certain things I feel has been undertaken, ones we could do in the future, and that'll be it? And perhaps the accountability processes will not be as astute as we would expect it.
Well, as president and government in power, you can have your say. And the voters on December 7th will have their say with their thumb. You know, things have moved on so much that whilst the media can be used, for example, to try and hoodwink people, whatever you are planning to do, people feel it in their respective communities. If, for example, you bring two people here, Party A, Party B. Party A will say we've done X, Y, Z. Party B will say it's not true. That decision, whether you've done A, what A is saying, or people believe B, will be reflected in their thumbs. Because you see, 40 voters are increasing. Given the age, I mean, if you have 80% below 40 years, or about 50% below almost 20 years, you have a population who are more concerned with what you say, how you impact it on their lives, your ability to do it. That era of politicians saying, I'll do A, B, C, and they don't do it, and people expect that they will not be punished, is gone. So now you, if you're an MP, it's your own interest to ensure that if the government is doing something, you take your own government on, either privately or openly, because when the chip comes to shove, they are going to vote for the president and kick you out.
Still Midday Live. Thanks for staying with us and keeping faith with us. Next is What Do You Think? We finally entered year 2013, and of course we all do have our very own New Year resolutions. Today on What Do You Think, I'm asking you, what are your New Year resolutions? What do you think?
2013 is a very good year, and we thank God for a life that He has given us, and we hope that the Lord will continue to bless us.
I want God to give me strength to do His work and protect Ghana in general give us our president, the parliamentarians, and all the people new vision to move Ghana forward.
2013, I'm going to term it as an action year because probably 2012, I did a whole lot of certain stuff that didn't go through well for me. So I'm hoping that this 2013, I'll put certain things in place, learn from my mistakes I did in 2012, implement in 2013, and make things happen. There was a particular paper I didn't focus much on at school, and then I kind of didn't acquire the good grade I wanted to. I had a C, so I think I won't be making such mistakes. I'll now stick glued to my books and then learn harder. Then I think come out with flying colors this year.
My New Year resolutions to advance in my career and then pray that God gives us strength to work more and then more money.
We are just praying that this year will be very good, that God will help us to see good things in our lives. Yeah, we are praying for money.
I pray to God to give me more ages and more life and to become a prosperous person, go on with my education, get good result during my examinations in class, and may God help my country and the new president elected.